Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. Today, I'm your yarn host Jennifer, by the way. In case you're new here, you don't know. Didn't even fix my light. Today we're doing a tutorial. We are going to recreate this bag. So this bag is made out of some fantastic squishy t-shirt style yarn. It's not exactly t-shirt style yarn, but it's really soft like a t-shirt. And we'll talk about that yarn in just a moment. I made this bag out of that yarn. It is a very quick and easy workup. This makes a fantastic Christmas gift for whoever in your family likes bags or needs a bag. This is really good for a crafter in your life because this would make an excellent little project, well, big giant project bag. This also makes a beautiful purse, so this would be for anybody that carries a bag. This is just gorgeous. This worked up so easily. You need three skeins of the yarn. I will open up these bags. This video is totally sponsored by Mary Maxim, so I wanted to thank Mary Maxim. They sponsored this video in the fact that they sent me the yarn for free to recreate another bag. They also sent me the yarn for free to create the first bag, and we all loved it so much I decided to do a tutorial. And I reached out and Mary Maxim very happily gave me yarn support. So, and they sent me enough yarn that I also have enough to give away at the end of this video. So, do this tutorial with me. Definitely comment because I'm going to give you away enough yarn to make this bag. But if you want to make this bag in time for Christmas, go ahead and order it. The link will be below. It is an affiliate link. I make a very small percentage back for the purchase of this yarn. These are the three colors that I used. The yarn is Mary Maxim Home. It is 68% cotton, 32% polyamide. It is a machine wash cold and cold water lay flat to dry, but because this is going to be a purse, you could also make a big basket out of this. It would be a beautiful basket. And you can use the same stitches I use on this purse for the basket. The colors that I picked were denim, denim splash, and sand. And I think they go absolutely beautiful together. It takes 3 cakes to make this big beautiful bag. And you're also going to need to buy 2 yards of, this is called cotton webbing. You can buy it in the craft stores. Sometimes you can also buy it on Amazon. I'll link Amazon below. But you can also buy this by the yard at like Hobby Lobby or some craft stores. It was like $3 for 2 yards, so it was a very good price. And 2 yards of that if you want this size handle, and then 3 skeins or cakes of this, which is the home yarn on Mary Maxim. I will link this below. This yarn is delicious, so, and I have enough to give away enough. I'm going to give away 3, these 3, so you can make your own bag or purchase your own if you don't think you're going to win the giveaway. All right, we're going to go down to the table and let's get started on this very easy tutorial. The stitches in this tutorial are single crochet on the bottom, double crochet around the top, and then this beautiful stuff is a spike stitch. It is so easy. I will show you how to do it. It's very pretty, but it adds such a beautiful dimension to this. So let's go to the table and let's get started. Oh, and the size hook that I used that I need to dig out is 10mm hook. So let's do this. Alright, so let's get started. We're going to start with a slip knot, which is very easy to do. A slip knot. We are going to start this with, and if this scares you, don't be scared. I'm going to walk you through this. We're going to do foundationless single crochet, and I apologize if my throat sounds a little bit hoarse. We're going to do 20 foundationless single crochet. I know that it sounds scary if you've never done them before, but they are so much easier, and they will make this part of the project so much easier if you do this instead of chaining. So you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And you're going to go into the first loop that's right next to your knot, and you're going to go in and pull up just a loop. So that looks like you're going to make a single crochet. Okay, and then you're going to chain 1 and then pull off both. Okay, and then in this section right here, we're going to go through these 2 loops. So it's like we're building the chain here and the single crochet on top of it all in one stitch. So that's technically 2 single crochets. I'm going to go through, and if you turn, you can see there's 2 loops here at the bottom part where the knot is on this side. Pull up a loop, okay, chain 1, that's our chain, and then single crochet. So you're creating both. And this part looks really confusing. This took me a long time to learn where the stitches are and what this is supposed to look like. So the part that is connected to the hook, this top side is going to be your single crochets. See that? This part here and here is a single crochet. And down here are our chains. Okay, but there should be like little V's. And right here, see this knot here? We're going to go just behind that, and we're going to go through both of these strands right here. See? And then we're going to pull up a loop, chain 1, and then single crochet. Okay? We're going to do that about 20 stitches. The stitch count doesn't really matter. The first bag I did 28 stitches. So we're going to go through those loops again, chain 1, and single crochet. This is going to be the bottom center of the bag. So I'm going to show you again. Go through right here. There's two strands there. Pull up a loop, chain with this bottom one. Whoops. Chain, and then single crochet. See? Go through right here, right here. Okay. See that? Pull up a loop, take off 1, which is our chain, take off 2, that's our single crochet. Okay, if you need to rewatch that a couple times, you can. If you try and you just can't get this, you can go ahead and do a single crochet, but you're going to be confused for the next step. Okay, so let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 so far, and I'm going to 20. This stitch is much easier if you're using a crochet hook that has more of a pointy head. This one has a rounded head, so I kind of have to fight the stitches a little bit. But if you crochet really loosely on this section, it won't be as hard to get in there and find your stitches. As you can see, for me, I'm having to pull them apart a little bit because I don't have a pointy headed 10mm hook. And when you get to the 20th row, or the 20th stitch, wait for me because what we're going to do next is a little unusual. And I already lost count, so I'm going to have to go back through and count again. Oops. If you go through and you have to chain because you can't figure out this foundationless single crochet, which, can I tell you, you need to learn this stitch. This makes projects so much easier. There's certain projects that the foundationless crochet stitch is just make it look nicer. It makes it easier to work. I really like using this stitch for a lot of things. But if you just can't get it, go ahead and do a 20 chain and then do 20 single crochets on the side, and I'll show you what to do next. But definitely try to learn the foundationless single crochet. I'm telling you, it is so worth it in the long run. Let me count how many I have. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I did 21. Good enough. Actually, yeah, that'll be fine. All right, doesn't matter. Let's do one more just because I don't like doing uneven. You can do 20, you can do 22, you can do 28. It does not matter. More than 28, you're probably not going to have enough yarn, so don't go more than 28. But this bag is about, let's see, so far the bottom is about, for me, at 22 stitches, is about 10 inches. So that'll work out. All right, now what we're going to do, this is the single crochet side, but instead of working into the single crochets, we're going to work in the round on the bottom. So we are going to work into the chain stitches that are on the bottom here, which is why I said it might be confusing if you do single crochets and then, or you do a chain stitch and then single crochets, but you absolutely can. If you do the chain stitches here and the single crochets here, you're going to work into the chains. So in this last stitch right here, where we would normally go in and do another foundationless single crochet, we're going to put 2 more single crochets, okay, in that same stitch. That helps us get around and go back up this way. And in each, see how easy it is to see the chains versus the single crochets here? We're going to put a single crochet in every stitch across. And then when you get to that last stitch, you're going to put 2 single crochets in that last stitch. So each end stitch will have a total of 3 single crochets. I've worked with a lot of really bulky yarn like this. I've worked with ribbon yarn. I've worked with all kinds of yarn. This is the softest, non-irritatingest, big chunky yarn I think I have worked with. It makes beautiful bags, but there's a lot of things you can make with this yarn. And at first, never having worked with it or used it, I just couldn't see anything other than maybe like a pillow. But I really, really fell in love with this yarn, and I was really excited. I was like, hey, Mary Maxim, I'm gonna make a tutorial. Can we do this? And Mary Maxim was like, yes, we can. You want some yarn? And I was like, oh, heck yes, I do. Thank you very much. So, makes me very happy. All right, we got to the end. I need to move my tape measure because it's blocking my yarn. So this is the end stitch right here. This is where we started the row, so where our knot is coming out of, okay? We're going to put 2 more single crochets, and I'm going to crochet right over the top of that tail so that I don't have to weave it in later. All right. Now, this is the beginning of the very first row where we started. We're just going to keep going around. Except this time, we are going to take, and this is the very first stitch, we are going to put 2 single crochets over here, because this is technically the beginning of the round. So whereas here we put the 3 single crochets on the end, now we are going to take the 2 side stitches on either side of the very end stitch. We're going to put 2 single crochets here and 2 single crochets here, and just 1 in that middle right there, which is hard to do here because we're working in the round, but it's not going to matter in the long run if you miss a stitch somewhere. It's really not. So I put 2 single crochets here, and then I'm going to single crochet all the way up this side. And this is going to kind of create a flat bottom for the bag, which I think makes the bag look really nice. Crochet all the way up to the side. Now see how we got to the end where it's kind of funky because we have those 3 stitches there. There's a stitch here, a stitch here, and a stitch here. We're going to put 2 single crochets here, a single crochet here, and 2 single crochets right there. Okay, and that will help us to open up so that when we're going around the corner, it's not going to fold up on itself. That's where our increases is, so this will lay flat. Okay, so I did 2 single crochets, a single crochet, and then 2 single crochets. And see how that gets us up and around the corner. And then we're going to single crochet up this side. And if there's any background noise, there are people in the house. And there's a brand new puppy in the house who is being really quiet right now. Luckily for me, I have a beautiful daughter who helps me take care of the puppy. So grateful for her. And for those of you who have been following in my life, my niece is going to get her driver's license today. Well, she got her driver's permit. Alright, so we got to the end here. Okay, so these are the stitches we increased in the front of the row. This is the last crochet stitch of the previous row. So over here on this corner, and it doesn't matter if you get the wrong stitch right here, it does not. You just want at the corner to have the increase of 2 double crochets, okay? And then that's what it should look like. If it curls a little bit, it's fine. It's curling with me because I'm crocheting tighter and then looser and then tighter and then looser because of my arthritis, but it's all good. All right, so now I'm going to do a single crochet there and another single crochet. And when we get to the corner over here on this corner, we're going to put 2 single crochet. And it doesn't matter if you get the right stitch or not. You just want them towards the corners here and here so that it flattens out a little bit. So you want an increase here, an increase here, an increase here, and an increase here. Okay. I tend to I don't make hard rules. I don't follow the rules when it comes to crocheting. I'm just single crocheting up this edge. And I don't want you to either. Don't put that kind of pressure on yourself. It's not worth it. Sometimes if you're making wearables, you have to use exact spots where you're going to put increases. You have to count your stitches. Bags like this, or like a lot of projects, honestly, there are no rules. You don't have to follow the rules. And the rules are meant to be broken. And nothing you make is ever going to be 100% perfect. As long as it looks nice to you, that's all that matters. A lot of my crocheting is I fly by the seat of my pants. I just go moment to moment. I just do it. I don't overthink. And that's where some of my most creative, beautiful projects come from, is just not thinking, just doing what the yarn tells me to do. All right, so now we're towards the corner. So we have these top 3 stitches here on either side here and here. I'm going to put an increase, but it, like I said, doesn't really matter where you put the increase. Just somewhere around that corner. So we got 2 single crochets, a single crochet, and then 2 single crochets. It's just to get us up and around that corner without it curling. That's what the increases are for. And it kinda squares it off a little bit. Now we're just going to single crochet up and around again. We're going to continue doing this, putting the increases on the sides here and here. 2 single crochet, 2 single crochet. And then for the next row, I'm going to do single crochet and a single crochet, and then I'm going to put the increases on the outsides there. So as close as you can to the corner. I'm going to do this, let me see, 4 or 5 rows. Let's see, how many rows do we have? We have 1, 2, so this is my 3rd row. So one more row after this. And then we'll work up the sides of the bag. I'm gonna stick with you. We're gonna keep crocheting together in case you have any, you know, things that you need answered that I might answer in this video. Single crocheting up and around. Yeah, stuff everywhere's just driving the heck out of me. There's cords, there's just all kinds of stuff. Alright, now we're up towards that corner. So I'm going to put an increase here. I'm going to put a single crochet here and a single crochet here. And then right here I'm going to put an increase, 2 single crochet just to get us up and around the corner. Let's see, 1, 2, 3 rows on that side, 3 rows on that side. Alright, that'll work. Alright. Now we're going to do single crochets back up this side again. This is an excellent, like, week before an event project. You can make these a little bit bigger and they would make excellent, like, diaper bags or something like that for a new mom. And you can make these for purses for someone as a last minute gift. You could use this as a really nice, like, gift bag for, like, something else you're going to put in here. Excellent project bag for the crafter in your life. Like I said, the original one I started with 28 stitches, but this one's 22. So this bag's going to be a little bit smaller, but the 28 stitches, it worked just fine. Alright, so I'm approaching the end again. Remember, like I said, I'm going to leave 2 stitches where it's a single crochet and a single crochet, and just on the other side of those 2 stitches, I'm going to put the increase. Actually, I think I'm going to do 3. I'm going to leave 3 stitches here. See these 3 stitches? And on the other sides of those 3 stitches, I'm going to put a 2 single crochet and 2 single crochet. Okay, I think that's what we're going to do. So, single crochet and single crochet in the same stitch, and then just 3 single crochets in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to put a increase here, so we're going to do 2 single crochets in this stitch. And don't worry, that puppy is just fine. Juju's taking care of him. He might have to go to the bathroom. We're going to single crochet along this edge. I remember when we got Scarlet. I think Scarlet's just about 5 years old now. I can't believe it's been 5 years. Has it been 5 years? 2018, I think we got her. I remember her being in the videos when we first got her. I hadn't had my channel that long. It just doesn't seem like it's been that long since I've had my channel. It's kind of crazy. She whined in the videos, just like Mr. Bentley is doing. Alright, so this is still the beginning of the row here. And the reason I can tell is because that's where I weaved in my end. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up somewhere at this corner here and put 2 single crochets And then in the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, we're going to put a single crochet. And then on the other side of that, we're going to put 2 single crochet, and this is the end of the row. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip stitch into this next stitch here. That is what it looks like. Okay, this is the bottom of our purse or our bag or whatever you want to call it. See how we have this beautiful, nice, neat line here where we worked around? Okay, that is what we have. Now, I'm going to show you this bag. There is a ridge here that separates the top of the bag from the bottom of the bag. And the way we do that is we're going to crochet around the stitches. So, we're going to do double crochets now. So we're going to chain 1. And if you look right here, this is the post of the half double crochet. We are going to work, we're going to wrap our yarn like this, go around, in and around the post so that the post is right here. We're going to pull up a loop, pull off 2, pull off 2. Alright, we're going to do that again. We're going to wrap our yarn, go up from the back and around the next loop. Pull up a loop. Oops, no we're not. Apparently not. Pull up a loop. Pull off 2, pull off 2. And it gives you a nice ridge here, you'll see. You'll see. So we're going to do that again. We're all the way around. We're not increasing, we're not adding any stitches. Every single post we're going to double crochet around the post. I'm going to make sure you guys can see. Wrap the yarn. Here's the post. Go in here and over the top of the post and down. So that's wrapped around. We're going to pull up a loop. And then we're going to double crochet. Okay? We're going to do this all the way around. Double crochet around the post. I'm going to bring the camera a little bit closer to my body because I feel like I keep going off frame. The only downside of that is my background now is like at an angle just so I can see better. Because I'm doing this in a new way. I moved my ring light down a little bit. So I actually have to look through my ring light to see my hands. It's confusing as all heck, so I keep pulling my hands closer to my body and I can feel that I'm going off a frame. So we're just double crocheting and see how there's like a separation right there, and this is the side wall of the bag and this is the bottom of the bag, and it just gives it a nice detail. And for the rest of the bag, we're just going to kind of be working in the circle, kind of working in the round. Because if you increase more, it's just going to keep being flat. And we're working up the side walls now, so we don't need any more increases. And if you're using this yarn with me, this yarn is so soft. I could not believe. I even told my friend at Mary Maxim, I was like, that yarn surprised me a lot. It's really soft. She's all, I know, I've worked with t-shirt yarn before, like straight t-shirt yarn. And she goes, and this surprised me how soft it was. Because it feels like a really nice worn-in t-shirt. You know those real soft ones that are just like, you could wear to bed. You know. Alright, so I'm getting ready to go up and around the corner. No increases. So we don't have to worry about where our stitches are at. We just gotta go around the post. And if your arm is hurting you, that's normal with this fat yarn. My arm always hurts when I work with it, but this project works up really super fast. So I think that other bag only took me like 3 or 4 hours start to finish, and that's designing it while I was going. I think I'm gonna have to pause after this row and get something to drink because you can hear my throat is getting really masculine. My frog in there needs some water. He's getting angry. See how it's starting to curve up? Oh, I don't know if you can see, but it's hard to see what you guys can see in 2 dimensions. And I'm looking at it in a 3-dimensional world. After you do this row, we're going to slip stitch to join if you decide to work ahead of me, or if you're crocheting faster than me. Slip stitch to join, and then do another row of double crochet in the round, but not around the post or anything. Just do straight double crochets at the top for 1 more row. And then we're going to switch our colors. So we're going to have 2 rows of this blue color, or whatever color you chose for the bottom. And then I'm going to switch to the sand color after 2 rows. There we are, almost to the end of the row. Just gotta go up and around the corner. Round and round and round she goes to the end of the row, and then we're gonna slip stitch to join. Oof. My arm muscle is burning. One more post. All right, now this is the start of the row here. I did the last post. I'm going to slip stitch to join. A lot of people at this point, when they're starting a new row, will chain up 2 or 3. I chain 1 and then put a double crochet, because I find there's less of a gap in between these 2 stitches when you get to the end of the row. So just double crochet all the way around this row. I will go get myself something to drink, finish this row by myself, and then we'll change color and we'll do the rest of the pattern. All right, we are almost back around to the beginning of the row. I'm still just double crocheting around. We are going to, at the end of this row, slip stitch. And then we're going to cut this yarn because we're going to add on the sand color. Or whatever secondary color you have. You can use the gray. I think they have mostly shades of grays and blues. And I think all of the colors would be absolutely beautiful together. Go to that last stitch. Skip this chain space because that's where we chained up, and go over to the double crochet, slip stitch to join. See how everything looks nice and tight there? All right, and then I'm gonna grab my scissors. cut about 2 inches, slip stitch to join. I'm going to grab my secondary color. This is how much of the first cake I used. Alright, now this is what our bag looks like so far. See how it wants to come up, like the sides are trying to pull up. You got that real beautiful little edge there that separates the side walls from the bottom of the bag. Beautiful. It should look kind of like a boat. Okay. Now, right here where we attached, we're just going to attach this yarn. And you can attach the yarn any way that you want. I tend to just put my hook in. I leave a tail about the same length as this. You can tie it or not tie it, doesn't matter. Alright. We're going to crochet right over the top of these tails. So I just chained one. I am going to put a double crochet in the same stitch. And crocheting over the top of my tails. We're going to put double crochet in every stitch all the way around. Okay. So the repeat for this white is we are going to do, I'm trying to look at my notes. Let's see. I'm going to do 1 row of double crochet followed by 3 rows of half double crochet. Okay, so we're going to have double crochet in this row and then 3 more rows of half double crochet. The reason I did the different stitches going around is because I wanted the textural difference between the stitches. I just wanted, you know, a little extra. So you guys don't need to watch me double crochet for this row, do ya? Double crochet, slip stitch to join here, okay, and then do 3 rows of half double crochet. You guys can do that. You don't need my help for that. And I will meet you at the end of, this is what it will look like. And then we're going to switch into that. I'm going to show you guys the spike stitch. Okay, so it'll be double and then 3 rows of half double. And I'll meet you at the end of that. Right, through the magic of television, I got through double crochet row and 3 half double crochet rows. When I get to the end of this row, which I am almost at, I'm going to slip stitch to join like I have done with the previous rows. And I am going to cut the sand color almost to the end. 1, 2 stitches. Slip stitch. Don't slip stitch here, slip stitch here, because that's the chain one. Cut my yarn in 2 pieces. That was my last white row. This is what I have so far. With the flat bottom, the sides, stands up on its own as of right now. Now I'm going to bring in this beautiful denim splash color. This looks like it has a knot in it. Alright, I'm going to pull out some so that we have enough room. I'm going to take a drink of my drink. Wet my whistle so I don't sound so dry and crackly in my throat. And once again, we're going to attach the yarn like we did the last time. Okay, I'm going to work over the top of these. Now this row is going to be drastically different than the last rows because we're starting a spike stitch. So it's going to do this. This looks difficult. It's not, I mean, it can be if you don't know where your rows, your stitches line up. you can accidentally add too many or not enough stitches with this. So whatever your stitch count is here, you need your stitch count to be the same for the next row. And if you're going to make a mistake, this will probably be the row to do it in. So in this very first stitch that we are connected in, we're going to put a single crochet. Now the spike stitch that we are going to do single crochets, but the single crochet is in different rows. So we are going to not single crochet in this row. We're going to go down to the next stitch right below, insert, very loosely grab our yarn. This is not where you want it to tighten up. You want to pull it up to the level of this stitch, okay? And then single crochet, okay? And we're working right over the top of our tails. If they look funky later on, we can fix that. Now we're going to drop down not to this row, but to the row beneath that. And we are going to do a single crochet spike stitch. Pull up a loop, make sure it's loose, because if you do this part too tight, this part is going to compress and it's going to look funky, and we don't want that. So those spikes are going to be low reach in. Alright, so that's, see how it's easy. And then the next stitch, we're going to go to the second row again, so it'll look like this first one. Pull up a loop, make sure it's as tall as that one, and single crochet. And then the next stitch, we're just going to put a single crochet. Just a regular old single crochet. And see, these are single crochets, but they look like really cool spikes. Alright, we're going to do that. So we're going to do 2 rows down, 3 rows down, 2 rows down, single crochet. Alright, so we got our single crochet. We're going to go down 1 row. You're going to pull up that loop, make sure it's as tall as this one. Single crochet. Now we're going to go down 1, 2, 3 rows. Pull up a loop very loosely, make sure this is not bunched underneath, and single crochet. Then we're going to go down 1, 2 rows. Do that smaller spike stitch and then put just a regular old single crochet. Okay, so that is what that should look like. You're going to do this all the way around. So you will have a single crochet in the row beneath, a single crochet in 2 rows beneath, a single crochet in the row beneath, and then a regular single crochet. So now it's time we did a single crochet. We're going to go drop down a row, pull up a loop, make sure it's this tall, single crochet. I'm going to drop down 2 rows, pull up a loop, single crochet. Drop down just 1 row this time, and then a single crochet in the next stitch. Okay, that's what we have so far. We're just going to keep doing that around. And the reason this part is difficult is because see how our holes kind of slant this way? You want to make sure that you have the same amount of stitches up here as in the previous rows, and that's just where you kind of have to sometimes go back a row, sometimes go forward a row. So just be mindful. Just be mindful. So right here, because this one kind of lines up here, but it looks like that, I'm going to go to this one here. And then drop down 2. See how my yarn tried to fold over? Make sure that's pulled back up. I'm just going to continue this all the way around. Make sure you have a lot of yarn pulled out so that you're not fighting it, so that these stitches stay nice and loose so that spike doesn't pull. This is where things can get janky. It's not difficult, it's just something you have to be aware of what you're doing. Pushing my scissors around the desk. single crochet. See? Isn't that pretty? It's pretty. It reminds me of icicles. You can tell I grew up in a cold climate, huh? I remember when I was a little girl, I would always get the lecture, be careful of the icicles, you get hurt if the icicle falls on you. And I'd be out there just trying to knock them down, because I liked playing with them. When you're a little kid, you have no idea of like danger and germs and like all the gross stuff. So like put an icicle in your mouth, even though the rain had the snow had leaked off the dirty roof. It's so gross. So gross. Yeah, good times. I'm just going to continue doing the spike stitch. Around and around and around. Make sure everything is nice and loosey-goosey. Super pretty. I'm just sticking with you guys in case watching me do that. How incredibly rude. It's in the middle of talking to you guys and the camera died. My battery died. I was gonna say, I'm sticking around with you guys in case watching me do these stitches helps you. In case you're having a difficult time. Crocheting slow so you guys can get an idea of what it's supposed to look like. Because this can be a difficult stitch to learn, just because, not because the stitch is difficult, because it's not, but it can be difficult because you have to learn where to put the spikes. Oops, I didn't mean to hit you. Yeah, so the bag is getting bigger, so I'm running out of room. Just so you don't have too many stitches or too little stitches. You know. Almost made it all the way around. And I got to the end and there's not quite enough to complete. So what we're going to do is we're going to fudge it a little bit. See, there should be 3 stitches here, but I only have 2. But it doesn't matter, because we can just drop down from here and do that spike stitch. Then drop down here and do that spike stitch. Complete with a 3rd spike stitch. And then a slip stitch to join right there. Chain 1, we're going to start the next row. This is what it should look like all the way around your bag. Now this next row is going to be a row of half double crochets. And then we're going to switch back to the sand color. So just do half double crochets all the way around. If your stitch count is off in that row and it's too big or too little, this is the row you're going to fix that in. You can add stitches or do decrease stitches in here, and it will just make everything fine. That row is not going to make or break the bag if you are 1 or 2 stitches off. You can always fix it in this row. Make sure you half double crochet in every stitch all the way around. See, we've only been doing this for a little while. We're almost done with the bag. Well, we're halfway done with the bag anyway. And everything's looking beautiful. That's what it should look like. I'm going to finish this row and I will meet you right back. Alright, so I made it to the end of the row. I'm going to slip stitch to join. I'm going to cut. Tie off. Bring that sand color back in. Oop. Come on. Chain one. We're going to do double crochets in this row. And then let me double check. 2, 3 rows of single crochet this time. A row of double crochet. 3 rows of single crochet, and then we're going to attach back in this and repeat this beautiful spike stitch. So double crochet, 3 rows of single crochet, and we're going to come back in and attach the blue and do another row of the spike stitch, and I will meet you at the end of this because you guys can do double and single crochets on your own. So 1 row of double, 3 rows of single, and I will meet you back when it's time to attach the denim yarn back in. Alright, we have completed this section. This is where we are at right now. We have the first section of the cream, we have the first section of the spike stitch, the second section of the cream, which is double crochets, and 3 rows of single crochets. We're going to come back to the denim splash color, or whatever color you're choosing for this. We're going to do another row of these beautiful spike stitches, and I don't think I have to walk you through this again. I don't think that I do, but we're going to do exactly like we did in the previous spike stitch row. We're going to do a single crochet to start. We're going to go down a row and do a spike stitch in the row just beneath this one. These spikes will look a little different though because these are singles and these are half doubles. Then we're going to jump down 2 rows and do another spike stitch. And then go to the row just below this one and do another spike stitch. And then single crochet. So see how these spike stitches are a little bit smaller than these ones? It's going to be fine though. Then we're going to continue on this where we do the same spike stitch pattern. Just make sure we keep our stitch count as close to the original stitch count as possible. Whatever this row is, that should be how many stitches you have after this row. And make sure you leave lots of room. Pull that stitch up nice and high so that it doesn't pull down. And make sure you're not pulling. Pull out extra yarn from your cake so that you don't have any resistance, because that can create tight stitches too. Single crochet, spike stitch, 2 rows down, spike stitch, 1 row down, spike stitch, single crochet. That's what it's looking like. Now this bag is slightly different than the original. It's a different size, because my original idea was this size and it ended up being much larger than I anticipated. And so this bag's actually going to be a little bit different than the original that I created. But you make the bag as big or as little as you want. And if you would rather make like a bag than a purse, or like a, no, words. If you would rather make a basket than a purse, you can still do these spike stitches if you do like a basket in the round. You still add the spike stitches. I have a basket on my floor right now that I actually did that with. So it looks very, very cool. If you've been around for any amount of time, you saw that red basket. I got a lot of people back there like, can you please show us how to make that? Well, we just work this in the round instead of back and forth, as big as you want the basket. Same pattern, you can have a basket instead of a purse. Easy peasy. Now you know. By the way, in case anybody wants to know, my niece passed her test. She now has her driver's permit. She's very happy. She said, she came in, she's all, did you doubt that your girl passed? I pass everything. I said no. She is a definitely an overachiever. She always has been. I had no doubt she was going to pass. Now I just got to work on getting those two girls behind the wheel. And by next summer, we're going to have two driving girls in the house. Because I told them, I said, I need you guys to have your driver's license, because with all the stuff that I do on a daily basis, taking care of everything all the time, like, y'all need to help out. I need you to run to the grocery store. I need you guys to have your driver's license to be able to do stuff, run errands, you know, whatever those may be. Not pretty. I need you guys to be driving. And they're both scared. I think we all are when it comes to that kind of stuff, though. New things are scary. Especially driving here is terrifying, but we got a lot of backcountry roads and a lot of crazy drivers always in a hurry. Alright. Now, see, we got around here and we actually have one too many stitches. That's what I said, you guys, like, it's not a big deal if you have too many stitches. Or too little. You just fudge it as we go. That's how we roll. See? And I just skipped over a stitch. And then problem solved. And you can't even really tell that I skipped a stitch. And once I put the next row in, which the next row is, looks like half double crochets. That part will close up even more and you won't know that there's a stitch that has been skipped over. The half double crochets for this row. And then 3 more rows of single crochet. And then we're going to do something totally different. Well, it's not totally different, but we're going to... Up to this point, we have only done the spike stitches with the blue. And when we get to the top of this section, where we're going to have half doubles and then 3 rows of singles, we're going to do spike stitches with the white, whereas here we just did double crochets. So at the top of this blue, we're going to do white spike stitches. It's going to be really pretty. So I will do this row of half double crochets, 3 rows of single crochet, and I will meet you when we're connecting the sand back in for the sandy colored spike stitches. And we're cruising on this bag. We're making really good progress. So I will meet you at the end of the 3rd single crochet row. So half double and 3 rows of single. and we'll be right back. All right, I made it through and cut the blue and tie it off. We have our half double row and our 3 rows of single. This is what the bag looks like so far. It is absolutely gorgeous, stunning, if I do say so myself. Take another drink of my drink. All right. We're going to attach the white back in. And this time, instead of like we've done here and here, we are going to do the white as a spike stitch. And it's beautiful. So, much like we did with the blue, when we did the spike stitches, we're going to attach the white in, chain 1, single crochet in that first stitch we just attached our yarn in. Then we're going to do the spike stitch. I keep calling this white. This is not white. It says it is sand. It is a very beautiful off-white sandy color. Now we're going to start the spike stitches. So we're going to go down a row. I'm going to put that first one in. Now we're going to go down 2 rows and put the second spike in. Make sure you pull up. You guys know how to do this already because we've done it several times. Another spike stitch and then a single crochet. Let's see how pretty that is. I just love the detail of this bag. I love the way it looks. So we're going to do this row of spike stitches. I'm probably going to have to come back in. There's the knot that we had. I'm going to have to sew that in a little bit and hide it. See if I can tuck it in right now. Nope. I have to come back and tuck that in later. I could have cut it. I could have made the tails longer. I did not. But I can fix it. It's not a big deal. I'm going to do the spike stitch. And this spike stitch is a really easy way to just add detail to actually anything you're making. It just adds a beautiful detail. You can do this spike stitch in baby blankets, in sweaters, in bags and baskets and whatever. You just throw it in there. Just toss it into the mix. Alright, so after this, we're going to do a row of half doubles with the cream and make sure I was doing that right. I feel like that one was too tight. So we're going to do this row. Then we're going to do a row of half double crochets and then we're going to attach back in the blue because we're almost done with the bag. So you guys made it like it didn't take very long at all. Didn't take very long at all. That's why I like this big bulky yarn because a couple hours you got like a really nice project. Didn't take very long at all. And I will never forget when I made the first bag, Mr. Cinnamon was like, that looks like something that was purchased in a store. And that was like a very high compliment from anybody, but specifically coming from someone like Mr. Cinnamon. So make sure if you're going to make this for someone for a present, that you make it for someone who's going to appreciate it. Because we all know there are some people who are just not craft worthy. Because they don't appreciate the time and the energy and the love that is put into this kind of thing. But this is also something just beautiful to make yourself. Like I said, this makes a beautiful project bag. Makes a beautiful purse. Makes a beautiful little diaper bag if you wanted to make it a little bigger. Lots of things you can do with this bag. I think I need to loosen up my stitches a little bit. I feel like I'm pulling them too much. There we go, that was better. Much better. Much better. That's what we have. See, isn't that just so pretty? That spike stitch just makes all the difference in the world with this bag. See where our stitch count is off again, just a little bit. So we are going to I'm just going to put a longish spike stitch in there and attach it and call it a day. See? So it's a little bit different in pattern, but it's not going to be anything that anybody's going to notice. And it's also on the side of the bag, so it's not a big deal. Alright, now, next row, half double crochets. Half double crochets. Good. He is absolutely obsessed with Tesla cars. Don't know why. I'm going to do half double crochets here. And then when we get to the end of this row, we're going to cut the white yarn, the sand yarn, this beautiful off-white colored yarn. And then we are going to attach the blue we made the bottom with, just to end it off. And I think because this bag is shorter than the other bag, I think by the time we get to the end of this row, I'm going to have to figure out how many rows I want to make with the blue, because I don't want the bag to be disproportionate where it's longer than it is wide by a lot. And so I think after I do this half double row, I think I'm going to do maybe 3 rows of single crochet. Of course, you can adjust this bag any way that you want. You can make it as long or as wide as you want. Just be careful, make sure you have enough yarn. Like I said, the first bag was made with a 28 stitches for the first row. This was made with 22. So it's actually a couple inches shorter than the first bag I made. So this bag is not going to be as tall as the first bag, just so that it's proportionate. But you can adjust this up or down. You can make it wider, you can make it narrower, you can make it taller, you can make it shorter. Just make sure you have enough yarn. It's turning out absolutely beautiful. I'm rather proud of it. So yeah, I'm thinking 3 rows of single crochet in that final blue color. And you guys don't need to see me do that. So I am going to finish this half double crochet row. I'm going to attach the denim, not the denim splash, and do 3 rows of single crochet. And then when we're done with that, I'm going to come back and we're going to discuss handles, because I used the cotton webbing for this one. You can also crochet handles if you want. You could buy wooden handles and attach those. You can put whatever handles you want on there. Depends on how much you want to sew. Or if you would just rather crochet handles. With this size bag, I have more than enough to crochet handles left over. So I could absolutely do it with the same material. You could also use a thinner material, a thinner yarn, and just crochet. Like, to get this look, you just do single crochets with a thinner yarn back and forth, or this way, and attach those. Or you could just sew those on. So I think I'm going to buy some more of the cotton webbing and make those kind of straps. Just because for me, I like the way that looks. But the handles are up to you. Like, you can crochet, you can do whatever you want. Whatever handles you prefer, whatever handles tickle your fancy. And I will be back. Because now I'm at the end of the row. I talked so much I got to the end of the row. I'm going to detach the white, the cream, the whatever sandy color this is. I actually have just enough. I could probably do another row of singles with that. I'm going to attach the blue, 3 rows of single crochet to finish off the top of the bag. Oh, it's so pretty. And I will be back and we'll discuss handles. Alright, it is the following day. I could have finished this last night, but I had to run because I had to go get the cord, the strapping. Saw that they had rainbow, so there might be another bag in my future because I have fun making these. This is the cord. Wow, my brain is not working, guys. I apologize. This is the cotton webbing. This is the color. I got it from Hobby Lobby. It matches very, very well to this. Last time, I believe I'm positive I got 3 yards. And I just cut it in half, and each strap was 1.5 yards. But this time they only had pieces left, so I just said, give me whatever's left on the thing. So this is about 50 inches for that strap. And the second strap is about 62 inches. So what we need to do is make these the same length. Now, if you don't want to use a strap, I will show you another way to do this. If you don't want to go buy this strap, this strapping cost me, I think it's $1.99 a yard. So you have to take it to the counter, you have to get it cut, no big deal. And let me do this so that they are the same length. I like nice long straps because I like stuff to sit on my shoulder. And so I'm going to line this up so that we can cut off the excess from this one. Let me measure this strap. This strap looks significantly shorter. And that way I can save even more. Yeah, that is about 32 inches. So I'm going to try to make these. I like the length of these handles. And we're going to have some left over just because of the way it was cut. Just because. So like I said, if you get 3 yards, you can cut them equally in half. And it will be just perfect for you for a over-the-shoulder strap. You can also make the strap shorter if you just want to hand hold the straps. The length of the straps is up to you. What did I say, 32? That'll work. I'm going to do, I think this time, no, I'm going to stick with 32. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Alright, now, I got extras in case I need them for something else. I also have this beautiful rainbow. This actually is nylon, whereas this is cotton. But I thought that was so pretty. I was like, okay, I need some of that. And the rainbow is 4 yards, so that was like $7.98, I think is what I paid for it. Now, I am not going to show you the process of sewing these on. I'm just going to show you how I sew them on, because my machine is very loud. But if you guys know how to work a sewing machine, or you know anything about sewing, this is easy. So you take strap number 1, I can take this tape off. I'm going to tell you right now, I am not a seamstress. I'm not a professional sewer. I know some things. If you know better tricks, use them. If you want to look up better how to attach straps, there's videos on the YouTubes for that. I'm just going to show you how I did it and what I did. Now these ends tend to fray, which is why they tape them up so nice at the Hobby Lobby for me. What I do is I take the strap, and you make sure the strap is all facing the same direction, okay? And you space it out where you want it on the bag. I like my straps on the outside because I like the way that that looked. This is how we did this bag. See, I like the way that looks. You could put them on the inside if you prefer them on the inside. This is your bag, do you? Okay, and what I did is I folded the end in just a little bit. And we tuck that down and we place it where we need it. And if you want to, you can pin this. Put like a safety pin in there or a straight pin or whatever you have. And then I just sewed this side, that side, and this side with my machine. You can also do it by hand. And make sure that whatever inches on this side, however many inches you have on this side, you have the same amount of inches on that side. So what did I do? I just had my tape measure. I threw it. So if I want to place this 3 inches in here on this side, fold that in. See where it's lined up with this white right here before the spike stitch? You want to come to this side and make sure it's the same. So make sure you're 3 inches in, right above the spike stitch, and pin it there. And then sew it on like that. Do it on both sides. And then you have a beautiful strap. Now, if you don't want to do the strap, you don't want to buy anything extra, because I do have a little bit of extra here. There's 2 different ways you can attach a strap here. I tend to do short rows, so I will attach it somewhere here, and I will make like, I don't know, 4 single crochets or something or another. Okay, and then I will work single crochets back and forth until the strap is the length that we want, and I will attach it on this side. Or you can just make the strap long ways. Pretend this is crochet. You just crochet it a chain of the length that you want and do single crochets back and forth that way, and then attach it. However you want to put a strap on, you do you. Make it your own bag. I really like the way these handles look. I think it gives it a more industrial look, a more this was made or purchased from a store, which I think that is a benefit for selling or gifting handmade items, is to have it look like, yes, it looks handmade, but we also know that handmade bulk produced things is really in right now, which is why you see crochet and knit stuff at all of the major outlets right now. That's why I like the look of the strap, because it gives it more of a finished look. It looks more like it's bought from a store, honestly. And but you can also do the crochet strap. I'm not going to judge you. I want you to make this how you want it to look. If you have a vision of what you want, you do that. You can also do, if you don't want to use the ribbon yarn for the straps, you can also do like a really thin cotton and mimic the look of one of these straps. So if you do like single crochets in a really thin cotton, like a kitchen cotton or something like that, you could also do that and it will give you the same effect. Now, here's your directions. This is your mission. Do you choose to accept it? If you make this bag, can you please, pretty please, show it to me? You can email it to me. You can post it in the Facebook group, which I totally appreciate. You can post it on Instagram and put the @ and cinnamon stitches or hashtag cinnamon stitches. I will see it either way. I just want to see if you've made these. I want you to show them in your videos if you're a podcaster. And if you make one, tell me who you made it for. Did you make it for yourself? Did you make it as a gift? Are you making it for your shop to sell? Because, yeah, one of these might actually go in the shop. And don't forget, I'm giving away 3 balls of this yarn. I'm giving away the 3 colors that we used in this, so that someone has a chance to make this bag even if they can't afford the yarn. because I want you guys to all be able to experience this yarn. It's really amazing. I will put the link to this yarn in the description box below. It is an affiliate link. It earns me a small percentage back. But I just really would love for you guys to make my design, because I really love this bag. I had fun making it. I'm really proud of it, and I would love to see your guys' take on it. Alright, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I will see you tomorrow for Thanksgiving. Well, it's Thanksgiving here in America. I will see you tomorrow for PIAO, bright and early, like normal. But yeah, I just wanted to spend a few minutes with you guys on Thanksgiving as well, and know that I'm thinking of you guys while we are going into this holiday season. And I appreciate that you're all here with me doing my tutorials and supporting me in all of the most wonderful ways. I love you guys. I'll see you the next one. Bye.